How's it going, everyone? My name is Miko and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, what I am about to do is to teach you about Phyton. And basically, when you say Phyton, it is a high-level interpreted general-purpose programming language, blah 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 and whatsoever. I'm actually just reading this simple description that you can find in Wikipedia. But in order for you to start your way in Phyton, you need to go to phyton.org, and I'll be leaving the description or the link below in the comment section so you can check it out freely. And once you go into the Phyton link, you need to download this and you need to click the downloads in here. And once you click the downloads, you just need to choose your operating system and then download the latest version of Phyton. So that's how you download Phyton. And you can also use different text editor if ever that you're running. You can use PyCharm, you can use Visual Studio, but for now, let's just simply use Visual Studio, okay? But beforehand that, let us first start our presentation by simply telling you that what we're going to be doing today is a Phyton create, okay? So we need to say that we're going to be combining Phyton and Flask, all right? So let's proceed first with pulling up our prompt or command prompt and then doing a make dir Phyton _lang. And since we've just created our folder, let's head towards the Phyton _lang. And then once we are here at Phyton _lang, what we need to do now is to do pip install, all right, Flask. We need to install the Flask because we're going to be using the Flask framework for our Phyton to run into web, all right? So other than that, the next thing that we need to do is to install a MySQL, all right? So pip install Flask _MySQL, or actually dash MySQL DB. Then afterwards, you just need to click on enter, and then okay, we just simply install the MySQL DB. All right. So afterwards, this we need to pull up the code dot, which is the shortcut for us opening our Visual Studio. And then once we open up our Visual Studio, just yes, I trust the authors, and just create a new file which says here main, or for me it's just index.py or py, right? So afterwards creating that, just need to import here, or from Flask import Flask. Then we also need to render a template because we're going to be using a render template for us to remit specific data towards our database. And actually going to be using request. So after that, you just need to do from Flask _MySQL DB, and then we should need to import that as MySQL. All right. So afterwards, you created that. You just need to create here an app is equals to Flask. All right. Then the next thing is gonna be $__name __, and then template folder, which I still didn't do, by the way. So I need to do template in here. So by the way, I will be creating a folder or a subfolder into my Phyton language. I will tag as template. And then afterwards creating this, what I need to do next is to, do an if statement here saying that if __name, which is the one that I declared here from the Flask, is equals to $__, main __, then, okay, we will be having here app run. Obviously, for us to not always run every time or do the running inside or the run server inside our command prompt, we need to do a debug. All right, so debug is equals to true, and then the next thing is going to be port. Obviously, by default, it's going to be port 8000, but for me, let's just say port 6000 because I'm actually using my port 8000 and 5000 right now, so let me just simply do port 6000. But it doesn't matter anyway. Actually, you can just simply remove this and you will be provided with a default port. So it doesn't matter anyway. I just wanted to be specific. And after that, you just need to do app.route. All right. And then do the slash, and then do in here the methods that you're going to be using. So the methods is going to be get and post request. All right. So afterwards creating that, we need to do in here diff home, right? And a big caution, guys, always do indentation, all right? Like for this one, should not be indented. Then afterwards, what we need to do next is to do an if statement in here pertaining that if the request dot method that we're going to be using is equals to post, then all right, the details is equals to request dot form. So we also need to declare variables here. Like for instance, what we're going to be doing is we just need to insert the name and details. This is the one that you've declared in here. So do the details. Then the next thing is going to be name. All right. So afterwards, that is going to be for example, my gender. All right. So details, gender, and afterwards doing that, what we need to do next is actually to create a query that will remit the specific variables towards my database. But in order for me to do a query, obviously we'll be having an error because we still didn't put here the credentials of our database. So in order for us to do that, just simply go towards champ in here because we're going to be using champ, all right? So if you're already creating PHP development, it's not a hustle for you. Just simply pull up your champ, and we just need to have the local host up and running, and also the PHP myadmin up and running because we're going to be using the MySQL for the PHP myadmin. And then just need to click on start. But if you wanted to download this one, just go to champ bitnami.org, and yeah, you can feel free to check it out there. So localhost, then go towards the PHP myadmin. I don't know why my computer loads up too slow right now. Well, let's just patiently wait, and then in here let's just create the database before we create the table. So I'm gonna be naming this database as FM or Flask manager. So afterwards, creating that, we just need to do here register because we're gonna be registering two variables. So we just need to have two in here. But for best practices, we just need to have three because we need to also put here the ID, which will auto increment each and every time that we will be passing value from our server towards the database. So yep, we just need to add here the name, and actually just tag the name as a variable character, and then in here is going to be the gender because I actually said gender a while ago. So I just need to put in the gender in here, and then click on save, and we will be having now our database in a table. So the table is register. So let's get back to our index.py, and then in here let's say app.config. All right, afterwards that you just need to do app.config, and then in here say mysql underscore first is host, and then equals that. So we need to have 4 of these. You just need to copy 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so we have 4 now. So you just need to have replace the host as user, and then replace the another host's password, and then replace the another host as db. All right, so the host is gonna be localhost, and the user is gonna be root, and the db is gonna be fm. All right, notice how I know this because basically if you go to your PHP myadmin, the specific home icon here, and then just go to the user account, you can see here the credentials of your database. So this is by default the credentials of my database when I install champ in my computer. All right, so let's go back. Afterwards doing this, the next thing that we need to do is, since we have the configuration here for us to be connected towards our database, the next thing that we need to do is to do here occur is equals to mysql dot connection dot cursor. Sorry, cursor. All right. So afterwards doing that, the next thing that we need to do is to do a core dot execute. All right. Need to execute insert into what will be our table. Our table is actually register under FM, the database. So we need to have here two values, which is going to be name and then gender. And then you need to put here values because the value will be the one to be inserted inside our table. So put here modulus and then S, modulus S. Then just copy paste this and then yep. Then you need to have two. Alright. So let me just simply right. Then afterwards that you just need to put here name and then the gender corresponding to this specific modulus. So afterwards doing that, the next thing that we need to create now is to have a core dot, or actually it's going to be mysql dot connection dot commit. We need to commit. Then afterwards doing that, the next thing that we need to do is to do core dot close, means to say that we're going to be closing the full if here. So afterwards closing that, we need to render or do a return that if everything is doing well inside the if and everything has been approved or submitted, then it will return as a success. And then do a shift tab. So do another return that calls render template. This is gonna be index.html. By the way, I still didn't do our index.html. So we need to go back to the template, and inside the template, which is a subfolder of the Phyton _lang, we need to do here index.html, and then do here document type, and then do here HTML, simple HTML tag, and then inside the HTML tag, you just need to create a head. Okay, inside the head, we need to create a title. Alright, so I'm not gonna be creating one, but yeah, let's just say that tutorials or tutorials. And then afterwards that you just need to, H1, do an H1 tag in here saying that this is the form. Alright, just to check out first. This is the form. Then afterwards doing this, the next thing that we need to do is to open up our terminal. And the next thing after opening our terminal is to do py, or you can do Phyton. But for my end, I need to do py because py is the recognized command for this. So py and then index or index.py. Alright, run server. So if I run my server in here, it says here that I'm running my server at 127.0.0.1 6000. So if I go in here and copy this, control, control, and copy that, and then that, just paste it. It says here that there's an error. So what will be the error all about? Don't know, but I guess Flask app index, lazy loading, debug mode on. I don't know what happened to the error in here, but it says here that the error is because I don't know what happened with the error. Wait. I don't know what happened to our error in here. Temporal down or remove, but I guess let's just simply move this to 7000. Okay, and then just replace this with 7000. So this is the form. My god. I was actually running on a different port, and I also have port 6000 up and running as well on my different page. So yeah, that's the reason why. Just change the port or just remove this port. Doesn't matter anyway. So let's go back to the index.html, and then in here you just need to do a form. All right, so afterwards creating a form, you just need to put here an input pertaining to the type, and the type of this input, since we're going to be asking for the name, is going to be text, and then let's name it as, name, and then afterwards let's use / and then do an input in here, then type, and say the gender is going to be text as well, because we just need to input that the gender is male, so gender / and then do submit or button, and then let's do here submit, and then let's just say the type is submit. So let's just say that the action is actually, let's remove the action. We're not going to be redirecting it to a different page. Let's just say method in here, then do post. So let's try it out now. All right, so let's say here Gerald Miko, and then my age is gonna be, or my gender is gonna be male. If I click on this, say that the MySQL is not identified or defined. Well, let's go back to the index.py. Oh, my bad, guys. Sorry. So I still didn't define here MySQL, so I need to define it. MySQL is equals to MySQL. All right. So MySQL, and then in here is gonna be the app. We'll need to define that. So let's just refresh once more, and then do Gerald Miko, and then mail, and then submit. Then afterwards, you can see here a success, meaning to say that the specific inputs that we've provided on our front end, which is going to be the HTML, has been run down on our Phyton server, and then from Phyton, it was been remitted towards our database in here, which if I check on the register, it's now in here. So that's how you do the insert or the create functionality for Phyton. And I hope you guys learned something from this video. Please hit on subscribe if you like this video. God bless everyone. Bye for now.